Hello students, welcome to the economics class of plus 2 standard. As we were working with lesson number 4, consumer behavior, cardinal and ordinal utility analysis part 4. The objective of these lessons are cardinal utility analysis, law of diminishing marginal utility and the law of equimarginal utility. All this we have already discussed. Today we will discuss the topics ordinal utility analysis, basic assumptions, indifference curve, meaning and properties, budget line, conditions of consumer equilibrium, basic difference between utility analysis and indifference curve analysis. Introduction. Some economists believe that utility like hunger, use of WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. is not measurable. Utility is an ordinal magnitude, means we can measure the utility in ranks like first, second, third, etc. And some economists believe that utility can only measure in numbers like 1, 2, 3 and so on. The consumer needs not know in specific units, means how much he will eat to satisfy his hunger, the utility of various commodities to make his choice, that is, how many glasses of water he will take while eating, number of chapatis and how much vegetable he will consume, suffices for him to be able to rank the various baskets of goods according to the satisfaction that each bundle gives him. Given the market prices of the commodities and the money income to be spent on them, we can locate the attainable combinations of commodities. These can be plotted in the form of straight line called the budget line. Indifference curve approach, popularly known as ordinal utility analysis, for determining the position of consumers' equilibrium is considered better than cardinal utility approach. Indifference curve is a curve that shows different combinations of two commodities that gives the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. Hence, the consumer is indifferent towards these various combinations. Key terms. Let us discuss the related key terms of this topic: cardinal utility, ordinal utility, indifference curve, indifference map and marginal rate of substitution. Cardinal utility. As we have already read that when you feel thirsty, your utility will be counted with 1 glass of water or 2 glasses of water. Means number of glasses you have taken to satisfy your thirst. This is called cardinal utility. Suppose you take 1 glass of water, so your cardinal utility is equals to 2. So cardinal utility means when we can measure the utility of a commodity in imaginary numbers. Cardinal utility, like I have two things, pizza and burger. Pizza gives me more satisfaction as I get 60 utils after eating it, in comparison to burger which gives me the satisfaction for 40 utils. Here utils, you know that imaginary units which measure the utility. Ordinal utility. I am again having pizza and burger. My first preference is pizza, which give me more satisfaction than burger. Thus my second preference is burger. Indifference curve. Let's understand the indifference curve with the help of example. The consumer can select any combination in these three sets, set 1, set 2 and set 3. And in each set there is a grapes and oranges, and in the third set also there is a combination of grapes and oranges. All the three combinations, set 1, set 2 and set 3, in each set will give him the same level of satisfaction. An indifference curve represents those combinations of two commodities that give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. Like in the first set, there is a set of grapes and oranges having combination of 1 unit of grapes and 20 units of oranges, 2 units of grapes and 12 units of oranges, 3 units of grapes and 8 units of oranges. And in the same way, in the second group there is a combination of grapes and oranges, and in the third set also there is a grapes and oranges combination, it is there. We have marked 4 combinations on the curve. I have drawn the first set on the x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis I have measured grapes and on the y-axis I have measured oranges. When I have plotted the numbers and after joining these points I have got the downward sloping indifference curve and marked A, B, C and D. Each of these 4 combinations is expected to give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. The level of satisfaction is being represented by the indifference curve, that is IC. Similarly, we can plot the other combinations of 2 commodities that give a consumer the same level of satisfaction. Assume that the consumer has not been told about the budget constraint, that is how much money he has to spend and what are the prices of the 2 goods. Based on this assumption, we ask the consumer to arrange the various combinations of grapes and oranges in his order of preference. Results are as follows. First one, the consumer will prefer any combination in set 3, that is I, J, K and L, over any other combination in set 2 or set 1. Second point is, his next choice will be for any combination in set 2. These would be preferred over any other combination in set 1. And third one is, the set 1 combinations are the least preferred combinations in the available arrangement. Second is, the consumer would not have any special preference for any particular combination in set 3. All these combinations are expected to give him the same level of satisfaction. Second point is, the consumer would not have any special preference for any particular combination in set 2. All these combinations in set 2 are expected to give him the same level of satisfaction. And third point is, the consumer would not have any special preference for any particular combination in set 1 also. All these combinations in set 1 are expected to give him the same level of satisfaction. Indifference map. A set of indifference curves. Each curve in the map represent a different level of satisfaction to the consumer. On the x-axis we have measured the grapes and on the y-axis we will measure oranges. When I have marked the points for the first set like A, B, C, D, and after joining these points I have got the downward sloping indifference curve IC1. For the second set I have marked the points and after joining these points got the downward sloping indifference curve IC2. And for the third set also I have marked the points I, J, K, L and joining the points got the indifference curve IC3. Higher the level of indifference curve, higher is the level of satisfaction. Means the least satisfaction it is with the IC1 curve and the high satisfaction it is with the IC3 curve. Properties. An indifference curve always slopes downward from left to right. From left to right. And it has a negative slope. Second point is, indifference curve denotes that if we increase the quantity of grapes, if we increase the quantity of grapes from 1 unit to 2 units or 3 units or 4 units, the quantity of oranges must be decreased from 20 units to 10 units or even 5 units. But the consumer will stay on the same level of satisfaction because according to the definition, all the points on the same indifference curve will give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So this is because of the fact that on an indifference curve, all the combinations of the 2 commodities marked as A, B, C and D on the IC1 give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. As we move from A to D, from A point to D point, the quantity of commodity Y will decrease and the quantity of X will increase. But the loss of Y is compensated by the gain of X commodity. Indifference curve never parallel to X-axis. This is our second property. In this curve, the quantity of oranges remains the same. As you can see in the diagram, on the y-axis we have measured the quantity of oranges and on the x-axis we have measured the quantity of grapes. On the y-axis, the quantity of oranges remains the same, but the quantity of grapes keeps on increasing and hence cannot give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer, because according to the indifference curve, if a consumer wants to have more quantity of grapes, he will have to give up some quantity of oranges. So in this way, indifference curve is never parallel to x-axis. From the table you can see that grapes continuously increasing and the oranges quantity remains the same. This is not according to the indifference curve definition. Indifference curve never parallel to y-axis also. In this you can see that grapes, quantity of grapes remains the same while the quantity of oranges continuously increasing. In this, quantity of grapes remains the same but the quantity of oranges keeps on increasing. Hence cannot give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer, because according to the indifference curve, if a consumer wants to have more quantity of oranges, he will have to give up some quantity of grapes. So in this way, indifference curve never parallel to the y-axis. Next one is indifference curve is a never upward sloping straight line. First of all, have a look on the table. Grapes 10, 20, 30 continuously increasing and oranges also increasing continuously 10, 20 and 30 units. And when we will mark the points on the x-axis and y-axis, we will get an upward sloping indifference curve, that is A, B, C points are marked on this one. This is not according to the law of indifference curve. So indifference curve can never parallel to the or can never be upward sloping straight line. In this curve, the quantity of grapes and oranges changes simultaneously in the same direction. As we move from point A to C, in the diagram from point A to C, the quantity of both x-axis and y-axis increases. These three combinations cannot give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer, because for two or more combinations to give the same level of satisfaction, it is necessary that if the quantity of one commodity increases, the quantity of another commodity must fall. Next property of the indifference curve is an indifference curve can take the three shapes: convex to the origin, concave to the origin and downward falling straight line curve. Marginal rate of substitution. Suppose we are having two combinations or the two commodities, oranges and grapes, as shown in the table. Combination it is A, B, C and D. Oranges, that is unit 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the grapes are 20, 12, 8 and 6. Marginal rate of substitution, that is with the increase in the oranges, the quantity of grapes it is going to be decreased. Means if we want to increase the quantity of oranges, we have to give up the quantity of grapes. According to the table, consumer can increase some quantity of grapes by sacrificing the quantity of oranges. So marginal rate of substitution is the rate at which a consumer is ready to give up one good in exchange for the another good while maintaining the same level of utility. So marginal rate of substitution for two goods, that is X and Y, it is equals to loss of Y divided by the receipts of X, that is change in the Y commodity divided by the change in X commodity. Indifference curve always slopes downwards. In case of increasing marginal rate of substitution, we will get the concave curve. Concave curve shape it is like this one. In the table you can see that there is combination of oranges and grapes. As the quantity of oranges going to be increased, the quantity of grapes it is going to be decreased, because the grapes we have to sacrifice in order to increase the consumption of oranges. So the marginal rate of substitution, it is equals to 1 it is equals to 2, and 1 it is equals to 4, and 1 it is equals to 8. That is the marginal rate of substitution. Now next one is, means firstly we have sacrificed 2 units of grapes, then 4 units of grapes, then 8 units of grapes are sacrificed. Next one is, indifference curve is downward falling straight line. In case of constant rate of substitution we will get. Here you can see that with the increase in the oranges, the grapes are sacrificed, and it is sacrificed at a constant rate, that is of 5 units every time. 1 orange means 5 units of grapes it is sacrificed. You can see here. Done. And after joining the points we will get a downward sloping straight line curve, that is indifference curve. Next one is, indifference curve can be convex to the origin. In case of diminishing marginal rate of substitution we will get the convex curve. In this table you can see that oranges quantity continuously increasing and the grapes are decreasing, because the quantity of grapes it is sacrificed in order to increase the quantity of oranges. But here firstly we have sacrificed 8 units of grapes, then 4 units of grapes, then 2 units of grapes. Now the marginal rate of substitution it is going to be decreased continuously in order to increase the consumption of oranges. And when we will mark these points on the x-axis and y-axis, we will get the convex curve, that is bend towards the origin. Indifference curve do not intersect with each other. The assumption about the shape of the indifference curve is based on the following 2 facts. First one is the definition of indifference curve. Indifference curve is a curve that shows different combinations of 2 goods that gives the same level of satisfaction to a consumer. And the definition of indifference map. According to this one, a set of indifference curves. Each curve in this map represents a different level of satisfaction. Higher the curve to the right side, higher is the level of satisfaction being represented by this curve, and vice versa. But in this diagram you can see that this curve is, that is IC2, and this is the IC1 curve. At which curve the consumer will get the maximum satisfaction, we can't say anything, because in the upper segment if we will focus, we will see that this IC2 curve, it is least preferred by the consumer because it gives him the lesser level of satisfaction, and IC1 curve will give the consumer more level of satisfaction. But in the lower segment of this, after the intersecting point, opposite case it is there. IC2 will give him the higher level of satisfaction and IC1 will give the consumer lower level of satisfaction. So in this way we can't decide that on which curve the consumer will get the maximum satisfaction. So in this way the indifference curve do not intersect with each other. Let us explain why 2 indifference curves cannot cut each other. As we know that IC2 represents a higher level of satisfaction than IC1. Combinations of A, B, C yield the same level of satisfaction, and this level of satisfaction is less than the level of satisfaction generated by the combination marked on D, B and E on IC2 curve. It would be obvious that combination D cannot generate a higher level of satisfaction than combination A in the upper segment of intersection. Combination B lies both on the IC1 and IC2, that is the intersection point. Hence this combination generates the same level of satisfaction as A and C and D and E. Both the above results are faulty and do not stand up to the definition of either an indifference curve or an indifference map. Therefore, we conclude that 2 indifference curves can never touch or intersect or cut each other. Marginal rate of substitution. Suppose we are having 2 commodities, oranges and grapes, as shown in the table. Combinations are A, B, C and D. and the quantity of oranges continuously increasing from 1 to 4 points, and the grapes continuously decreasing, and the marginal rate of substitution, it is a decreasing marginal rate of substitution. According to the table, the consumer can increase the quantity of grapes by sacrificing the quantity of oranges, and so the marginal rate of substitution is the rate at which a consumer is ready to give up one good in exchange for the another good while maintaining the same level of utility. Marginal rate of substitution for the commodity X and Y, that is the loss of Y divided by the receipt of X, that is change in Y commodity divided by the change in X commodity. The negative slope of an indifference curve at any one point is called the marginal rate of substitution of the two commodities X and Y, and is given by the slope of the tangent at that point. Slope of indifference curve, that is equals to minus dy by dx, it is equals to the marginal rate of substitution for the X and Y commodities. From the figure first, it can be seen that as we move from the combination A towards the G on the IC curve, the marginal rate goes on diminishing. Means by decreasing the oranges, quantity of oranges, we can increase the quantity of grapes. Now next one is, on the x-axis, the amount of commodity X increased by an equal amount, but on y-axis the amount of commodity Y falls at the diminishing rate. The same result can be shown in the different manner. We increase the quantity of commodity Y by a fixed amount with the quantity of commodity X decreases but at a decreasing rate. This can be seen in the figure 2 here. As we can see from the figure 2, the amount of commodity Y increases at a constant rate, that is OY1, then Y1 Y2, it is equals to Y2 Y3 difference, and it is equals to Y3 Y4 and so on. The amount of commodity X, that is decreases but at a diminishing rate, that is X2 X3, X1 X2, X3 and X4, it is less than X2 X3, X2 and X3, X4 and X5, and it is less than X3 and X4, etc. Now next one is budget line. Suppose a consumer is having rupees 10 to spend on commodities, that is clothes and shoes, and her money income is rupees 10. The price of clothes, it is rupees 2 per unit. The price of shoes, it is rupee 1 per unit. With the given money income, she has the choice to purchase any of these two combinations of clothes and shoes. 5 clothes or 0 shoes, and 4 clothes and 2 shoes, or 3 clothes and 4 shoes, or 2 clothes and 6 shoes, and 1 clothes and 8 shoes, or no clothes and 10 shoes. Means either he will increase or decrease the quantity according to the budget constraint of the particular commodities. We can plot all these combinations in a graph. We will get a straight line falling towards from y-intercept to the x-intercept. Now this straight line is called the budget line. This is your budget line or budget constraint. So budget line is defined as the given the market prices of the two commodities and the income constraint, also known as budget constraint. We can identify a set of attainable combinations of two commodities, that is clothes and shoes. By plotting these combinations on the graph, we can get a straight line. This line is called the budget line. Next one is graphical representation of budget line. With the given income, consumer can purchase either OA of clothes, that is 20 units of clothes, with 0 shoes, that is OB of shoes. He can purchase any of the combinations of two commodities, clothes and shoes, falling on the line AB. This is your AB line, that is budget constraint. For example, A, B and C, a combination like E is unattainable because it is beyond the approach of the consumer. Since it lies outside the budget space, and the combination like D is attainable as it lies below the budget line, but in this case the whole money of the consumer does not be used. Consumer is having a surplus at this point. Since we assume that consumer has to spend all his income, the actual combination of clothes and shoes will be one among those which lie on the budget line. Only these points A, B and C. The slope of the budget line is ratio of prices of X commodity with the Y commodity. The negative inverse of the ratio of the prices of the two commodities, that is clothes and shoes. In other words, the slope of budget line shows the opportunity cost of one good in terms of another good. The amount of one good that the consumer gives up when the consumer an additional unit of another good consumes the additional unit of another good. The absolute value of the slope of the budget line is 2. Indicates that the opportunity cost of one cloth is 2 pairs of shoes. Assumptions of the budget line. Consumer's money income is fixed. Price of two commodities are given. If any of these values change, we will get a new budget line. Graphical representation of the budget line. With the given income of the consumer can purchase either OA of clothes with 0 shoes or OB of shoes with 0 clothes. He can purchase any of the combinations of the two commodities, that is clothes and shoes, falling on the line AB. This is your line AB. And on these points are A, B and C. A combination like E, it is unattainable because consumer has to pay extra for the purchase of this combination since it lies outside the budget line. And the combination like D, it is attainable, but it is not according to our assumptions that consumer has to spend all his income. Here at this point the consumer is having a surplus. So the actual combination of clothes and shoes will be among those which lies on the budget line, that is A, B and C points. The slope of the budget line is the price of X commodity divided by the price of Y commodity. The negative inverse of the ratio of the prices of the two commodities, that is clothes and shoes. Consumer's equilibrium. Two important tools to illustrate the consumer's equilibrium are, first one is consumer's indifference map and budget line. Two conditions must be fulfilled for the consumer to be in equilibrium. First condition is the marginal rate of substitution should be equal to the ratio of commodity prices. Marginal rate of substitution, that is two commodities X and Y, it is equals to the ratio of the marginal utility of X commodity with the marginal utility of Y commodity, and it is equals to the ratio of the price of X commodity with the price of Y commodity. This is necessary but not a sufficient condition. The second condition is the indifference curve should be convex to the origin, that is at the point of equilibrium. The marginal rate of substitution must be declining. Given the indifference map of the consumer and his budget line, the equilibrium is defined by the point of tangency of the budget line with the highest possible indifference curve. Next one is at the point of tangency, that is E point with the IC2 curve. IC2 indifference curve. E is the slope of budget line where the price of X commodity divided by the price of Y commodity, and the indifference curves, that is marginal rate of substitution for X and Y, it is equals to the marginal utility of X divided by the marginal utility of Y are equal. The first condition is denoted graphically by the point of tangency of the two relevant curves, that is at point E. The second condition is implied by the convex shape. This is the convex shape of the indifference curve also there. the consumer maximizes his utility by buying OQ quantity of shoes and OK quantity of clothes. Consumer's equilibrium obtained when the marginal utility of X commodity divided by the marginal utility of Y commodity, and it is equal to the ratio of the prices of both the commodities, and it is equal to the marginal rate of substitution of two commodities, that is X and Y. The equation is marginal utility of first commodity divided by the price of this commodity, it is equal to marginal utility of second commodity divided by its price, and so on. It should be equal to the marginal utility of nth commodity divided by the price of the nth commodity. Now let us discuss some important questions related to this topic. Question is, how does the budget line change if the consumer's income increases to rupees 40 but the prices remains unchanged? An increase in the consumer's income implies that consumer can purchase increased quantities of both the commodities at the prevailing market prices. As a result, the consumer would be faced with a new budget line. The new budget line will shift rightward, that is parallel to the original budget line. According to the figure given, money it is equals to rupees 20 and the budget line formed an intercept at 4 units of good 2 and 5 units of good X. Now next one is, with the increase in the money to rupees 40, what happened? New intercepts are formed at 8 units of Y and 10 units of X. So the new budget line, it is parallel to the original line. Only there is a change in the income but no change in the prices. In this way the slope of the budget line remains the same and the prices also remains the same, but the change in income, there is a change in quantity. Next one is, how does the budget line change if the price of good 2 increases by a rupee but the price of good 1 and the consumer income remains unchanged? The price of good 2, suppose rupees 4 it is there, and the price of good 1 it is also 4. Now next one is, the new price for the good 2 it is rupees 5 and the price of good 1 it is rupees 4. The money income it is rupees 20. So the price of good 2 it is equals to rupees 4 and the new price for the good 2 it is equals to rupees 5 and the price of good 1 it is rupees 4 only. So the money income it is equals to 20. Now next one is, what happens to the budget set if both the prices as well as the income double? If as given, P1 changes from rupees 4 to rupees 8 and the P2 changes from rupees 5 to rupees 10 and the money changes from rupees 20 to rupees 40, then intercepts on both X axis and Y axis will remain unchanged at 5 units and 4 units respectively, and the slope of the price line will remain unaffected, that is 8 divided by 10 it is equals to 4 divided by 5. So therefore there will be no change in the budget set and the budget line. Next question is, suppose a consumer can afford to buy 6 units of good 1 and 8 units of good 2 if he spends his entire income. The price of two goods are rupees 6 and rupees 8 respectively. How much is the consumer's income? Now we know that money it is equals to income, or money or income it is equals to price and quantity of goods plus price multiplied by the quantity of good. Now 6 is the price of good first and the units purchase, that is also 6, plus 8 is the price of good 2 and the units purchase, that is also 8. So 6 6 are 36, 8 8 are 64. So total it is 100. So the consumer's income it is equals to rupees 100. Next one is, suppose the consumer wants to consume 2 goods which are available only in integer units. The 2 goods are equally priced at rupees 10 and the consumer's income is rupees 40. First one is, write down all the bundles that are available to the consumer, and among the bundles that are available to the consumer, identify those which cost him exactly rupees 40. Now what we have given, that is price of first good, it is equals to P2 plus rupees 10 and the money it is equals to rupees 40, and the various bundles that are available to the consumer, that is which form the bundle set, can be represented as shown in figure. All the bundles that either lie on the budget line, that is A, B and C. For example, 0 plus 4, 1 plus 3, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 1 or 4 plus 0 are lie on the budget line. For example, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1 are available to the consumer. And the second combination of good 1 and good 2 marked A, B, C, D and E on the budget line, that is DE. Cost exactly rupees 40. Next one is, hope you all have understood the topic of ordinal utility and we have discussed the numericals also. Now it's time to note down the homework. Our first question is, define the following terms with examples. First term is indifference map, second is indifference curve and marginal rate of substitution. Second question is, what are indifference curves? Explain the properties of indifference curve and use graphs also. Second is, when does the indifference curve take the shape of the following? Convex to the origin, concave to the origin and straight line shape. Next one is, explain the budget line and consumer's equilibrium, use diagram. And students, please go through the YouTube links also for more clarity, and hope you all will complete your notes in your fair copy for better learning. Thank you students for listening.